Good afternoon YouTube, I am back with the first video of 2021, and in this one, this is actually a video that I have been requested to do. So I had a comment some time ago, I'll see if I can find you and put your name somewhere here, but this person was asking me, can I do a video about cornering and steering in a lorry? How do you know when to turn to make a corner, for example? So I thought that I would give it my best shot, and I'm going to try and make a video for you today about knowing when to turn to make a corner. So I'm going to go for a little drive around and let's see what we can do. Okay then guys, so we are out here going for a short drive around. It's actually Saturday. So what I'm going to do is take the lorry for a wash and make this video for you. So I think this subject is something that is overthought by new drivers and people looking to get into this industry and just browsing around for YouTube videos and things, and it's something that you overthink. Well, how do I know when to turn to make the corner? Now the simple answer is you don't, at first anyway. So I remember having this exact thought myself when I was new, and like I say, the true answer is you don't know when to turn at first. It's something that you get used to. Of course you have one thing to help you, and that's your mirrors. Now I'm going to take you around the city today because it's a bit tighter in these areas. But I think my first tip would be, if the road is there, then use it. There's no point in trying to make a corner without using all of the road that is available. Even if sometimes you have to use the other side of the road to make a corner, that's perfectly fine, if that's the only way you can make the corner. But I have my dash cam recorded now. It's pointing down towards the road a bit more than usual. And I have a camera showing my, hopefully you can see my front wheel turning and my rear wheels, hopefully. But you can see there the curb, and I'm filming on that particular side, the passenger side, because I think it's generally harder to make a left turn because you can't see that side and you can't see down that side, where this side you can just look out the window or wind your window down and put your head out. So I think the first thing is definitely use all of the road available to you. There's no point trying to take a corner short. If the road is there, then use it. So I'm going to show you this left turn here. I'm not going to turn like I was in a car. I'm going to turn very late into this corner. Now it appears to me that the front of my lorry is going to hit that post that was there, but it's not. It's just perspective. It's very deceiving in the lorry when you first start. You think that this side is going to hit something and you're actually miles away. But the way you can get used to that is when you're manoeuvring, you can look out the window or you can get out and check. That side, we're a bit more limited of what we can do because we can't see out the window that side. But like again here, just use all the road. Turn over very late, like that, and you're definitely going to miss. Of course it doesn't matter, like in that example, if you go too wide away from the curb, it doesn't matter because no one's there, you know, you're not going to hit anyone, no one's there, so it's better to be too wide, I think, than not wide enough. Because of course if you're not wide enough, then you're going to be going up the curb and causing all kinds of trouble. That being said, it is just practice. You get to know your lorry and you get to know how it turns. At first, you're going to make a mistake. You're going to try to make a turn and you're not going to get round it. Maybe not on your first day or your first week, but it will happen. You will make a turn and you won't make it. Still happens to me now, 18 months down the line. Because sometimes it's just really hard to get the lorry round because these class 2 lorries, they don't turn that well. There's going to be situations where you can't make the turn without using the other side of the road. And that's okay, it's going to happen. That's just lorries. They're not built for these small roads really. They're built for bigger roads and big yards. But I think the main key is just turn very late. Here I'm really wide away from the curb of that roundabout. I don't need to be, but the road is wide, so why not use it? You can even see the rocks here where other lorries have gone wide there too. It's just, the road is there, so use it. I think another tip I could give you really is just take your time. There's no rush. Everyone starts somewhere, and at the beginning you have to learn your lorry, you have to learn how it turns, because it's something that's new to you. I mean, a car turns around, it has a really small turning circle. One of these lorries has a really big turning circle. They don't turn so easily. But with that being said, it's not impossible. You could bet your life a Buzz or another lorry, or even a Class 1 lorry bigger than me, has been on these roads before. So you know it is possible. Just keep your eye on your mirrors. Turning this roundabout here, I'm keeping an eye on my right mirror to see the distance. And if I'm too far out, then I just turn more. If I'm too close, then I turn away. Here the same. Now I'm going to watch my left mirror going around. You can see it just missed it there, the curb. But it's just keep your eye on your mirrors and take your time. That's the best advice I can give you. Use your mirrors. If you are too close to the curb when you go around the corner, then turn outwards a little bit, then turn back. If you're too close, you know, or you're too far away, I should say, then just turn more. It's just keep your eye on your mirrors. They're going to help you more so than anything else. Anything else I could tell you, your mirrors are going to help you. We're going to turn right at this roundabout here. It's quite a tight roundabout. Keep moving over, sorry, to the left, because it's going to be quite a tight turn here. I'm keeping an eye on my right hand mirror. I've missed the roundabout. Now I'm moving over quite wide, just slightly onto the other side of the road there with my wheel, to miss that curb. But each time you turn, look in your mirrors and you can't go wrong. I think it's really difficult for me to know what to say to help you with this. It's just practice, and at first it's a bit of a guess, to be honest. It's a bit of guesswork, but you know, you get there in the end. Again, there's no point going really close to that curb here to make the left turn. I'm staying over to the right hand side of this road, of this roundabout. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to turn slightly, then make my big turn later on. You can see sometimes it's hard to miss them, and you can even see the damage on some curbs where other lorries have done the same. It just depends on the road. Like we said, these roads are not built for lorries, but us on the multi-drop work, well, I guess not necessarily multi-drop work, but we get sent there anyway, so it's one of those things you've got to get used to. I would say just don't worry too much at first. It's something that you overthink, and when you get into the lorry you just turn and you do it perfectly. There's no thinking of turn now or turn later. It's just something that you do automatically. The biggest thing is just use the road. Actually, I've changed my mind here. I'm going to go straight over this roundabout. Again, keeping your eye on the left mirror, then keeping your eye on the right mirror, just to watch the tail of the lorry go. Your mirrors are everything. You can see everything you need to know in your mirrors. I'm just hoping that by filming this video with these angles, that it helps you if it's something that you're thinking about. When I first started, there was this one particular turning that still catches me out today actually. It's somewhere near Tipton and Great Bridge. but it's a left turn, and the turn is not big enough really for the lorry to get around. So you have to go on the other side of the road as much as you can to make the turn over. But on the other side there's traffic lights and the cars queue there. The white line is pretty far back, but of course the cars don't always stop before the white line. So it's really hard to get the lorry round to make that turn. There's been situations there where I've made the turn and had to reverse and have another go. It's just one of those things. But mostly the car drivers, if anything, they don't want to get their car damaged, so they're wary of you anyway. So when you make a turn and you don't make it and you put it in reverse, they panic and they move out the way quick. That's just one of those things. They don't want you to damage their car. So that works in your favour. This roundabout can be a little bit tight here. Again, I'm staying over to the right hand side where these little blue arrows are, and I'm going to go now slowly, but I'm going to use all this road here on the left as much as I need to. I can see in my mirror there's a huge gap to this curve on the right hand side. Now I'm going to have to turn left here, so I'm closing the gap on the right hand side to make a wide left turn. When I first started, I had to do this one on the other side of the road to get round there because I wasn't familiar with the lorry. But you pick it up and you learn better. You learn your lorry better over time. It's just practice. And I was just saying before, there's times when you'll make a turn and you have to reverse and take it wider. It's just one of those things that happens to us all. But that's okay. It's gonna happen. You're new, and I was new too, and it happened to me. Yes, you feel like a bit of an idiot, but everybody feels like an idiot at least once or twice in their life, because it's not easy to drive one of these things like a car. It's not like a car, you know, they're bigger, and the one that you do your lessons and testing is usually not as long as the one that you'll get your job doing. I think the one I did my lessons in was something like 14 tonnes, and that gives you your class 2 licence. And yet I came here on my first day and this lorry is 26 tonnes and probably twice as long, maybe even more, 2.5 times as long as the one that you do your lessons in. So it's just one of those things, but the key is the same. Just take the corners as wide as you can, and don't be worried. Oh, that was my dash cams just fell off. Just don't be scared. Just take your time. Of course, when you first approach a junction at the traffic lights, you're going to think, oh my god, how do I turn there? I remember sitting quite a few times at a junction or a set of lights, mapping it out in my head first. I'm going to try and go as far over there and then turn there. And now all these cogs start turning in your head and you're trying to map it out. Now it's not something I think about. It's just something that you do with practice. So don't overthink it. I'm going to turn left here and trying to find somewhere that I can stop to repair this camera that's fell down. Again, pulling up to the curb, just look in your mirror, you can see the curb in your mirror. So just, if you're too far, turn a bit more. Hopefully it's going to stay there this time. Bloody thing. I don't know what's wrong with it. I mean, it's the same with reversing. Now you can see I'm reversing here into this side road. I'm just watching the curb in my mirror and that's telling me when to turn, to just keep the distance the same. If you're too close, turn away. If you're not close enough, then turn a bit more. That's all there is to it. Just use your mirrors and they will help you, and that's how you can make sure you park straight. Just look in the mirror, you can see. Of course, this is a big place to turn around. Inevitably, you will have smaller yards and places to turn than this, but it's just practice. It's the same as how you know how close you are to the car that was parked there. You just look in your mirror and you can see how close you are to him. It's best to be too far away from him than too close to him, if that makes sense. So turn, if the road is there, use the space you have. If you're not sure, wait for the space, wait for a gap. This roundabout we're going to turn left. So I'm already more over to the right hand side of this lane, so I can make this corner. Now I know in advance that this is a big turn anyway, so I have lots of space, but if you aren't sure, then just use the space you have, move over. I can see in my driver's mirror my wheels and the rest of the lorry is just touching the other side, this line I should say rather. So it's touching the other side of this lane already. Just going to wait for a nice big gap here. There we go. Again, I'm starting to make the turn and all the time I'm watching in that left mirror. Of course, don't watch in that left mirror and crash into something. Look in front of you as well. But just watch that mirror and that's going to give you all the information that you need. Like I said before, I think right turns are generally easier because you can see this side better. And you can actually use their side of the road if there's no one there if you need to. I'm going to turn right here. Again, I'm moving over to the left here as much as I can. You can see there's a couple of cars here. Well, I don't know if you can see from that angle on the camera. But if they're in your way, then let them go. I know I could get around it with these here, but this is an example. If they're in your way, let them go. Now I've crossed over the other side of their lane a little bit, but you know, I let them go so there was no one there, there was no one in the way. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, that's a real shame. The jet wash isn't working. That's my dash cam again. Anyway, the jet wash isn't working. I don't know why. Usually you just turn the switch and you hear it fire up, and then you turn the switch off when you're finished. Well, it's not working. It's not firing up for some reason. I don't know why. And as well, there's like a thing on the wall, which I assume is a fuse box, that was switched to off. So I put that to on, and it's still not working. So I don't know what's going on. I've put everything back the way I found it, and we'll just leave it there. I'll report it to my manager on Monday. Because no one's here because it's Saturday. Okay then, never mind about the wash. I'll have to come and do it in the week. But I hope just watching me drive around and these angles of the camera are enough to help you if this is something that is playing on your mind. I know it's something that played on mine when I first started, but I was surprised that when you just get into the lorry and you start to drive around, you're surprised that you just do it without thinking. I guess my tips, like I've said earlier, would be just, if the road is there and there's a lot of space, then use it. Take your time and keep your eye on the mirrors. don't be scared. Don't overthink this. There will be times where you make a mistake. It happens to everybody, and just know that it happens to everybody, not just to you, when you feel like an idiot in the middle of the road. It happens to us all, trust me, and you feel like an idiot. But lucky for me, I don't have any of it on camera, so there's no evidence. Don't be scared that sometimes when you turn, you need to use the other side of the road. And in those situations where you do need to use the other side of the road, if there are cars already there, then just wait. Wait for their traffic light to turn green, or wait for them to start moving. There's no shame, you know, that's how it is. That's the only way you can get round, so just wait. 9 times out of 10, people in the car see that what you're trying to do, and one of them will hang back and let you turn. Sometimes, on the other hand, they try to let you turn and there isn't enough space, and then you either, like I did, try and go for it and then realise there's not enough space, and then you have to reverse back and you look like a fool, and also they feel like a fool for trying to let you go. Or what also happened to me, you'll try to tell them, no, you go, and they'll say, no, you go. You say, no, you go, in which case you know there isn't enough space, so just get them to go. You know, I just usually do this. There's not enough space, or it's not going to fit. Sometimes it happens. For the rest of the video, I'm just going to talk you through what I'm doing. Hopefully that will help you. Just talk you through the procedure. In this situation, I'd already be, if I was learning, sizing up this corner. So I'd be sizing up, if I turn too sharply, then I'm going to catch this this traffic light pole or curb with the back of my lorry if I turn too sharply. So I know I can see there's plenty of space between the line and the next set of traffic lights, so just use the space. So here we're going to turn. I can look in this right hand mirror and see when I've cleared that curb, and that's how I know when to turn, just from looking in the mirror. Of course, once you get the hang of it, you don't look in the mirror as much, but it's still something that you should do. This road is one way, so there's no traffic coming the other way. Just stay over to my left here, and then just use the space I have. You can see there's a left turn, so I'm going to move over to the right to make this nice wide left turn. I know how far I am because I can see in my mirrors either side where I am on the road. This one is particularly tight around here, so just go wide. Use just a little bit of their road. You can see it's quite wide that side, so just steal a bit of their lane to help you get around. Failing that, just go up the curb a fraction if you need to. I know it's something that you should avoid, but if you have no other choice, then just go slowly. Make sure that you're not going to knock anyone over first. Just go slowly. Again, here around this car, it's the same principle really. I'm going to turn to my right to get around this car. Oh, this guy's going to let me go. But I'm turning more than I need to, because use the road, why not? Why not use the road? Turn more than you need, then you know you're definitely not going to hit him. Well, hit the car, I should say, not hit him. I think something to be conscious about as well when you are approaching traffic lights like these ones, if another lorry is trying to turn into this road from either the left or the right, then I'm going to be in their way if I'm too far over. So in this case, I keep an eye on that left mirror to just make sure I'm as far over as I can be to the left, just to make sure that if somebody else was turning into this road, that I'm not in the way. I can see how close I am because I can see the curb in the mirror. At this junction I'm going to turn right. Now, in my head I'm already sizing up the space I have here. So you can see on the right hand side, it's not particularly wide on that road where that blue car is just turning. It's not the widest little part, but I can see in the middle here I have so much space, I don't need to worry. I also need to be conscious that my back wheels are not going to clip the curb this side where this traffic light is, but I know that there's so much space there that I don't need to worry. Don't need to overthink this. So I'm just going to go slowly, look in my right hand mirror when I've cleared that curb, and then turn then. And look again when I've cleared that curb. I've missed the left one. Again here I've missed this left one. Nice and easy. This roundabout I'm staying over to my right just to make sure. Use all the space you have. I'm really wide on this roundabout again, but why can't I be? There's no one else there. I may as well use that road if I need it. Approaching this roundabout, I can see it does bend to the left quite sharply there, so I'm going to stay on the right hand side, and I'm just going to cross this middle lane slightly, keeping an eye on my left mirror how close I am to that curb. Again keeping an eye, that's going to tell me when I can turn. Go left here. As I'm approaching it, I'm over to the right, and I've missed that curve by a fair distance. Could have come round that a bit tighter, but why should I? Turning left here, this is quite a sharp left turn, particularly when the cars are queuing on the other side, which in the afternoon is quite common. I'm approaching it as close to the right as I can be, and I'm turning late. I've crossed their side just to make sure I do clear that curb. Why can't I cross their side? There's nobody there. If there were cars there, which like I said around rush hour when it's busy, there tends to be cars there. If I've come around it a bit too wide and I'm not going to make the corner, then just wait. Wait for them to go, and then you'll have a space open up. Don't come around it too tight. It's best to come around it too wide, in my opinion, because if you come around it too tight, then you risk hitting the fence. Mini roundabout here. I don't see any point in attempting to even try and go around this roundabout, which is probably a bit naughty. I just go over it like a speed bump. It's probably a bit naughty, but still. There's times on mini roundabouts where you can't make the turn around it like you would in a car, in which case you are allowed to go over it during your test, but you have to make a conscious effort at trying to turn a little bit, not like me who just went straight over. You have to try to turn, or at least show that you understand and you trying to turn, even though in that situation there's no way you can turn around it like a car. You have to go over it. It's not as blatantly obvious as I just did. Another mini roundabout here. Approaching it because I'm turning right. I'm approaching it to close to the left curb. I'm going to make an attempt at turning around this roundabout for you. Usually I just go over it because I'm one of those drivers in the lorry. Today I'm going to make a good attempt at going around it for you. I'm watching that left mirror to see I've missed that curb. Now I'm turning. Back wheels have practically gone over it, but at least I showed that I understand it's a roundabout and I've tried to go around it. Okay then guys, that's going to be the end of this video. Hopefully these scenarios and situations helped you out. I didn't want to make the video too long because I think a lot of it is quite repetitive in my advice. I'm sorry if I repeated myself 100 times, but I used to be a teacher and it wouldn't be normal if I didn't repeat myself in a lesson at least 100 times. So yeah, I've tried my best for you. Hopefully that helps. If you like this video, you can give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. If you want to see more of me, then you can subscribe. Otherwise, see you in the next video, guys, and take care.